see a lot of movement degeneration after retirement. So people retire and their main plan is to just like sit around, kick it back and not do much, which sounds really fun, but what ends up happening is as you don't use your range of motion, as you don't use your muscles, they go away, because balance relies on good muscle growth, good bone density, and as you lose those, your balance is going to be affected because of that. So the more you sit around, the less you're moving, the worse your balance is going to be. I recommend squats a lot. Just basic, simple movements. Squats are important because you squat every day. You're getting up and down off chairs, off the toilet, up and down out of bed. So being able to do those well is important for balance. Exercises like planks introduce a lot of stability into your core, and having a strong core is a really big part of just stability overall, and being able to catch yourself if you're about to fall, having a good stable core where all your strength comes from. Also just doing hinge work just so that you maintain all the muscles in your lower and upper body. Doing exercises to help maintain your posture. Those are all going to be important to increase balance and keep those neurological connections alive. Just strengthening different movements like step-ups, climbing your stairs, just mimicking things that we do throughout our everyday life to keep it moving.
Well, I had a stroke in January of 16, so I came here. When I came here, I couldn't lift my hand over my head. I couldn't get up out of the chair without help, and I weighed 256 pounds. I lost probably 60 or 70 pounds of fat and put on some muscle. And like I could sit down in the chair and stand up, and had a hell of a time walking to the drugstore to mail a letter. And now I just go and I'm back, and hey, I'm not even breathing hard. I can walk in a straight line again. Before I was all over the place. And then squats, we go curling, and everybody stands along the side, and I would squat. Other people would try it, and like they couldn't even bend at the hips. And I'm practically sitting on the ice, like I want to be able to do things with my grandchildren and great-grandchildren and my wife.
Exercise has actually been scientifically proven to not only pause the signs of aging, but to completely reverse it. So in people who have lost bone density or muscle density or whatever, you can completely start reversing that by exercising. So it's not just like something where you put a little pause or help stop it. You can start to change the things you've lost. If you don't use your range of motion, you're gonna lose it. So a lot of people, like when they hurt themselves, they're like, oh, I need to rest. I just need to let this rest. But that's actually going to give you a negative decline. You'll just get stuck in a rut that keeps getting deeper if you stop moving. Instead, you need to consult a professional, just get a few tips on what kind of movements you should be doing so that you can safely rebuild the strength and not lose your entire range of motion because you just gave up and stopped moving altogether.
I used to get headaches, and Kim's had me doing all these exercises. Before I realized it, I didn't have headaches anymore because this stuff had all been stretched out. Like I had never, ever gone to a gym. I think it's because if you just sit around, muscle memory starts tightening up. Whereas if you like I do stretches every morning, squats, and I do push-ups, but they're on the kitchen counter. But I could do sit-ups, which I never could do before. But both Lynn and I should have one. We're both over 80, and there's sometimes that there's a teeter. Yeah. Well, just to be able to get a hold of somebody right away. If you're home alone and fall down the stairs into the basement, you can't get to the phone, you might as well fall down in the middle of the Arctic tundra. There's no help until somebody says, oh, I wonder where Grandpa is. So eventually they might come over. I might still be alive or I could be dead, but that emergency alert, I think, you should have one.